you just brought your Zoom virginity there, Mr. Frater.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anyone better to lose it with.
Right, yeah, mate, let's crack on. So, this is the second in the series of the Dream Frequency 30-year anniversary interviews, and I'm with my main man, Frater, head honcho of Rejuvenation. How you doing, mate?
I'm very well, thank you, Mr. Bland, and thank you for inviting me on to say a few words. Oh, what a momentous occasion, eh?
I know, how mad, mate. Wait till Rejuv's 30 years old. How good's that going to be?
Oh. You know what? It's, we've just passed 8 years, and it's been absolute blood, sweat, and tears for all that time. And I can't imagine doing it for another 22 years. But you never know what happens. We'll all have Zimmer frames by then.
What can I say, mate? In another 20 years, blimey. Well, I'll be what, 37, and you'll have
whatever.
Mate, honestly, yeah. Honestly, listen, I know Susie's. Hi, Susie, by the way. You and Susie absolutely smashed Rejuv, and you've done so much for the scene with it and everything. And what an amazing night! I mean, Robbie Tessera told me about it, and a few other people said, "Oh, you need to come over," and then I think I was doing quite a few gigs on it or whatever. But when I did, I told you this at the time. Anybody who wants a genuine, as close as you can get night out, Rejuv. Wow.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, we get quite a few comments on it like that. And we're very proud, really proud.
Yeah.
From it to grow from a few friends and a couple of hundred people 8 years ago to where we are now with like 1,500 people at each event over 5 rooms. It's just phenomenal. And I'm really proud. You know, it's good.
It's amazing, honestly. Like I say, it's things like that, you know, like, I mean, obviously I'm a lot on the music side of things, and I've got me stuff together with this 30 years. By the way, I apologise for the last interview because my missus said, you're swearing every sentence. And I said to you, then I said, I'm trying not to swear. I'm going to keep it shorter because me and Robbie were waffling on and I'm trying not to swear. But yeah, I'm on the music side and like, you know, absolutely I was off. But what was the story? I think I've heard it once, but go through the story of how it all happened with the Rejuv.
Well, basically, we went over to Bowler's when that reopened in, I think it was about 2011.
Yeah.
And we were just blown away. We'd not been out raving for 20 odd years. We've had a baby, and you know, we thought we'd put all that behind us, but there was just something appealing and magnetic drawing us back to Bowler's in 2011. So we took the journey over the hill, went there, had the best night ever, and it just reignited the passion that it never goes away. You know, the love for the music and the scene, it never disappeared. So we brought that back to Leeds, and we went back to Bowler's on the next event, and it was just like a casual comment on Facebook, and I said, you know, someone needs to put an event on in Leeds, basically, so we didn't have to travel over the hill, and just do something over this way, because all the old school scene had died down, the rave scene, and it was Green Bins that under the message, he come back to me and he says, you know, if you're going to put that old school event on, I'll come and DJ for you for nothing, and we'll get it going. And I went, I'm not putting an old school event on. I want someone to come and put one on. And he says, well, why don't you do it? And that was it then. You know, the seed was sown, and we just tried to find a venue. Tried nearly every venue in Leeds, and nobody would take us on because we'd no experience or anything.
Yeah.
And then we managed to get in down at, what was it called? Down on, I forget what its name now. It became, what did it become now?
Don't ask me about Leeds venues. I can't remember any of them. I've probably been to most of them, but I can't remember any of them. But yeah,
it would right. It became the Mint Club. I forget what it was called before that, but it was the Mint Club eventually. And they took us on for a couple of events, but we weren't filling the space. So
Glass House, where Glass House that's not the Mint Club, is it?
No, it's down on Water Lane at the bottom of Leeds, down by the train station.
Right. Okay.
So I'm trying to think back. This is like 2012. So yeah, it was. We did 2 events down there. We weren't really filling the space, and we weren't getting. It was a good night. Don't get me wrong, but we didn't have enough people for the best atmosphere. So they decided to move us to the Mint Club, which was at the top of Leeds.
Yeah.
And we got Welly and Nipper on at that one, and that was probably the turning point for Rejuv as a party, because it was such an amazing night, and it just went off. And then after that, they didn't take us back on at the Mint Club. So we had to find another venue. Unfortunately, someone knew Graham at the Beaverworks, and we ended up there. So long story, we had a little bit of a journey, but we ended up at the Beaverworks, and that's become our home for the last 6-7 years now.
Mate, oh man, because I tell you what, a lot of people like. I mean, listen, I freely admit, you get some balls, my friend, to do any night. You've got to go all in. But like you've proved, if you've got the passion, because I always think Rejuv, of a lot of the nights, it's of the ravers for the ravers. And I know you always say it's like a family, and it is. You and Susie, you're on the door. You know, you come on, you say hello to everybody, and it is like a family. And the venue now, and the vibe when you get there. I mean, bloody hell, mate. I mean, when I come and play for you, it's like I can't even get like 10 yards with about 20 people. And I'm saying that in a good way, because I'm just like, the last time I went on my own, when I weren't even playing, and Charlotte's like, my wife, she's going, where have you been all night? Where have you been all night? And I literally was just going around just chatting to her.
Yeah, you get mobbed. Everyone, and the beauty about Rejuv, and the thing I love about Rejuv, is like we get guys like yourself and all the big acts and the big names coming and playing, and they want to be there, and they met and they tread on the same level as everybody else who's in the club. So whether you're on the dance floor or you're behind the bar, you're a doorman, or you're a raver, or you're an artist, or you're a DJ, everyone's treated the same, with the same respect. And I think that's the beauty of it. And for you to come in, and people just love that interaction. And we love the DJs that come and they stay and they have a night of it with us, because they want to be there and they want to experience what we used to have back in the 90s. And that's, I mean, Rejuv, we had the last one in March, and it seems like years ago with everything that's going on, but what an amazing night, you know. And I still get goosebumps just thinking about that night back then, and it's just phenomenal. You touched on a point. You said something actually about you have to go full in and balls deep with it. You can't do it by half measures. And I think if I'd have known back on day one exactly what I was going to be getting into, and the amount of work and effort that I had to go into actually putting it on, I don't think I'd have took it on. I was so naive to it all, and I just, you know, I've had to learn. It's been a big learning curve as we've done it, you know.
Absolutely, but like it's like with anything, innit? If you it starts sometimes, don't you think? I mean, it's same with music. You know, it starts off as like something you're doing for the love, a hobby almost, isn't it? And then it grows. But you don't. I don't know about yourself, but you don't mind putting the hard work in if you know that it's what you want to do. And it's like, I suppose we're blessed like that, where I know you. Just to sort of switch the conversation, the backgrounds, right? So when I did the 30 album, the first person who I wanted on board to do the artwork was yourself. And the reasons for that is, number one, and I'm not just saying that you're a top guy, it's the Rejuv connection. And for me, it was the fact that you're a great graphic artist as well. And it was, and a Ricky Gervais bum. It was that, wasn't it? It just all felt, I wanted it.
Oh, yeah, it's music and art and design and being creative all goes hand in hand. It's all the same thing, and that's where my passion is. That's what I love. I studied design at college, and that was at the early 90s. So we were going out raving and going to all the clubs while we were studying art. So it went hand in hand, and it was like that. It's just what it is. But from that, it's sort of like developed, and we've come forward, but we've also took a step back because we're still doing what we were doing back in the 90s. And, you know, I'll do it till I'm 80, 90, till they put me in a box, because I absolutely love it. And I love the scene, and I love the parties that are going on. And for you guys, Dream Frequency, 30 years on, I mean, it makes me feel old, but it's just amazing. 30 years, who'd have thought?
I know. You nailed it, Si. I mean, like, people say about retiring. And I think what we do, yourself with Rejuv and your art and all the rest of it, mate, it's like Rob said. I don't know if you saw the interview with Rob, and he made me crack up when he was giving it, in the care home. He said, we'll be there wheeling. And he's like,
yeah, we will.
Have you got any tackle? We'll never retire. Even if we're in the care home, I'm pretty sure that we'll be like, all right, Si, I've got your tunes for you. They're all playing.
Maybe, I think this is what we should plan now, actually. We should actually plan a care home where we all come together.
Wow.
We have the disco lights and we have the medication that gets us out of the chairs to carry on. To carry on doing what we're doing. I don't know. Piss in a bag and, I don't.
You liquid MDA now.
Why not? Why not have an old people's home that's specifically for the raver? Let's plan it now and we'll do it.
Honestly, right, Dragon's Den right here now, because tell you what, they have like ex-military, don't they? Why can't they have they have, what do they call them in I can't remember the name, in the red jackets in London. What are the Chelsea pensioners? We could have the rave pensioners.
Yeah, the rave pensioners, there we go. And we've all got our own home. There's no noise limits.
No,
yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Si, you could be warden. Don't pull that. It's not warden.
I'm just happy being on the dance floor, mate. I'm not bothered. I don't want any hierarchy.
Brilliant. So your rave story, because obviously, I mean, I don't know if you cross paths with us when we were doing Dream Frequency gigs in the day or whatever. God, so what were your like favorite clubs back in the day? Where did you go? How did you meet Susie? How did your early sort of raving come about for yourself?
Right. Okay. So, I mean, I started going out, like I say, when I was at college. I was sort of 17, 18 years old. And with being a Leeds lad, we were doing a lot of the Leeds stuff. So the arcs were prevalent then, and there were the big nights, and it was basically getting on the bus and getting to Leeds. So we did a lot of the arts. We saw you there, actually, at the uni, at the refectory.
Wow, yeah. Wow, they were brilliant nights.
And then as we were starting to get to the age where people were driving and we started going further afield, so we were getting down to like Angels at Burnley.
Yeah.
And we hit Life and Bowlers, and, that was like the big one. It was the warehouse scene, and it felt right. Also, off the back of that, I was doing a little bit of DJing myself. I'd spent my student loan on getting some Technics.
Wow.
And a box of vinyls. So I started to do a little bit of DJing at home and practicing and stuff like that. And then got a couple of like little bookings at clubs and pubs around Dewsbury and Batley.
Yeah.
I got a sponsorship from a record shop. Managed to get some of the latest releases on vinyl, and just started doing a bit of DJing and stuff. Off the back of that, I was DJing in a pub stroke club in Batley called The Park.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Suzanne, and also from Cagney's as well, because she was a dancer down there. Wow. And we got together, and then we started going.
DJ pulling power, did you? Like, while she were dancing, giving it that.
No. I mean, we used to go into Cagney's in Dewsbury, and she'd be there on the podium giving it what for in a little black catsuit that she used to wear.
Yeah.
And me and my mates were like, "Oh, check that out!" That was part of the reason why I went down to Cagney's, was to see. And we knew Suzanne through the clubbing scene or down at Cagney's and all that, and we were doing like a zone night on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And she come down for a drink. I just split up with someone. She'd heard that I split up with someone, and she come down and said, "Do you fancy a drink?" And I said, "Yeah." And we just carried on from there, really. Long story short, there's a few more bits to it, but I won't bore everyone with the finer details. But yeah, we had the best time. We went out clubbing, and we managed to get to the Heineken Festival at Roundhay Park.
Yeah.
which was like live music again. And yeah, we're just enjoying the music scene together. We've both got a love and a passion for it.
Yeah.
And obviously a love for each other. And we've been doing it now for 25 years. So we've been together, married for 15. And yeah, just love it. Just, you know, I'm a lucky guy. I do what I love. I'm doing the design work. We're doing clubbing events. We still go out to the clubs.
Yeah.
We've got a really good, healthy relationship. We're happy. And yeah, life's good. And it's been like this for a long time. And yeah, I love it. It's all good.
Mate, it's brilliant. It's like it's like a rave love story. Because Susie, like you say, she's obviously your missus and your life partner, but she's a massive part of the Rejuv brand and all the things she does as well. It's like I think, what is that phrase? Not calling you this, mate, because I'm calling myself that. Is behind every good bloke, there's a woman who knows he's a dick.
I agree with you, 100%. Right, I totally agree with you. I wouldn't be who I am or what I'm doing without, you know, that love and support behind me. And she does. She pushes me, and you know, we both got qualities that we give to each other, and it works together as a team.
Yeah.
And she is a massive part of Rejuv. People love her. Yeah. She's on the door. She gives everyone a hug when they come in. Even back in March, just before lockdown, she hugged every single person before they came in, and no coronavirus. So happy days.
Hey. Well, I did think, you know, going on to the lockdown situation, which we'll discuss, like, and yeah, you know, I think you were probably. I think we did the retro reunion for Paul Taylor on the 28th of Feb, and I think Rejuv was shortly after that. And I remember when we did that, you know, I was even half joking with Paul when I seen Paul Taylor. I was like, he was like, all right, Blandy, and it was one of them. And then just joking, I was like, oh no, I'm not shaking you. Give us a fist. And we were joking about it, but it started to really kick off. And then obviously you had your night, and I did think, wow, how's that going to go down? As in, like, how's that going to pan out? So how was it? Were people aware of it, or?
We were aware of it. We were aware of it going into the actual event through that week. We didn't know about the lockdown. That wasn't even on the horizon then. It was just prevalent that this virus had come into the country, and it was highly infectious. But
yeah,
it was like, as soon as people were at Rejuv, there was no mention of it. Nobody talked about it. It was actually after Rejuv that people started to go, oh, you know, we had all them people together and there must be something. But we have a little bit of a joke anyway, because we've got the beaver fever after a Rejuv anyway, because of all the hot and sweaty dancers together, and everyone's hugging each other anyway. So you get a cold.
Yeah.
So we've got the beaver fever, and we've got rejuvatitis as well. So there's a couple of diseases that are a lot worse than COVID, to be honest. But
yeah,
you know, we got away.
When you actually think of like all the sweaty raves we've all been to over the years, like, yeah, I mean, they're on about the vaccine. You know, if this vaccine comes out and people are going like, would you have the vaccine? And I'm just thinking, we've probably all had as much other stuff in us that we don't.
Yeah, I think the 90s was vaccine enough. And you don't get any disease now.
So, I mean, there is a Rejuv kind of penciled in for August. How's that looking at all? Or do you think it'll happen? Or I don't think anybody knows, but
it's your guess is as good as mine. I've had a word with Graham, who's the owner of the Beaverworks, and we've talked about it, and is more than happy to do whatever it takes to make sure that everything's in place to let people come and enjoy that party.
Yeah.
You know, and there's not really. He's even said that he might put running waters in the toilets, so that's like a massive bonus at the Beaverworks. You know, if you can wash your hands anyway. Sorry, Graham, it's a joke, mate.
We'll put running water in for me.
Yeah. But he said that he will do anything. It's an outside event, the all day in August. It's outside. We do go inside at 11 o'clock, but we'll just see. We'll have to see what the government says, and if we can do it, we will. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, we did discuss, didn't we? Because I did ring you up in the course of, you know, because for the album thing, you know, we were all ready to go with, you know, doing a full new show, the full Monty, and then we discussed like playing at the August do. And you know, yeah, I don't know what the score is. I'm not putting you on the spot whatsoever, but it's like, yeah, it's just up in the air, really, isn't it? I mean, we had bloody hell, we had Beat Herder Butts, Diva Fest, and like a lot
Yeah.
of the people yourself, a lot of them gigs just went, see ya, bye.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
All the bookings, we're all in the same boat, and I've had DJ bookings cancelled as well. But there's nothing you can do about it, and we're just at the mercy of the government. And if they'll relax it enough that we can get some people together in an outside space. I mean, we've been watching the raves in Manchester, and you know this illegal stuff that's been going on, and the BLM, the Black Lives Movement, and there's a lot of people coming together,
yeah.
and there doesn't seem to me being any kind of significant spike. I mean, I'm not the expert in this, but I'm just fingers crossed we can do it. You know, and I don't want to get too political about it all.
No. Fingers crossed, and that is the confusing thing, isn't it? Like we're saying, we aren't getting political. You know, we're kind of well. I know I am. I know you and Susie are. You're generally observing, you know, social distancing, all the rest of it. But then when you look on TV, it's like, bloody hell, everybody's just pub, you know, whatever, protest. You know, it's all like, but there doesn't seem to be a massive wave yet. Fingers crossed there isn't. It'd be brilliant if we can get back to normal.
I think the pub side of it will be, this next couple of weeks will be the biggest telltale of if anything else is going to happen, because you know, when people have a drink, I know they talk about social distancing, but when they have a drink, it goes out the window. And I've seen some of the reports, and I've seen some of the news articles, and you know, the drinkers, bless them, they're out for a good time. They want to be together, and that's what drinking is. It's a social thing. We're social animals at the end of the day, and that's what we want, isn't it? We want to get together and have a laugh, and the drinking is the biggest thing at the moment. This is going to be the test now for the next couple of weeks, and this will be like for August. It'll be the telltale signs now.
I mean, we're an island race, aren't we? We are like we've got this British mentality of like, I'm going to pub and that's it. I'm on enough now, and I suppose we shall see, mate. So did you do a lot of live? Have you been doing a lot of live streams in the place of doing the gigs and stuff without having to do the gigs?
Have I been doing them?
Yeah. What? How do you make of the live streaming? Have you found all that?
Because we've had the extra time to. I mean, a lot of my design work is event design, so
yeah,
I've probably lost about 50, 60, 70% of my work at the moment because obviously events aren't going ahead. I've been doing a little bit of design for virtual events and things that are going on online and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got other clients which are event-based, which I've been working on and stuff. But yeah, it's given us the time to learn new skills. And part of that learning curve for me has been to learn doing stuff like this, video calling, live streaming, a little bit of DJing.
Yeah.
I'm not one for actually putting myself out there and wanting to push all the time. So
yeah,
I've learned how to do it, but I still held the reins back and not actually done it that much, to be honest. But I tell you what, I've really enjoyed some of the streams that have been going on, and you know, the big events have been putting them on.
Mate. I've known you for a few years now, and that's what I like about you. I'm not just saying you're a really humble guy, and I like that. And you know, it's good to see, because it's a weird one with the old live streaming, isn't it? It's like, yeah, you don't want to push for it. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I've had streams booked, and I've been, you know, like half an hour before, you're thinking, oh, can I be bothered? But then when you actually do it, and you feel that buzz of, even if it's just messaging and seeing people chatting, it reaffirms, like you just said a while ago, about people want to connect with people, and just to know that they're buzzing off you, buzzing off them, and it's a great feeling. I mean, it doesn't replace the reality, but it's as close as we can get at the moment, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very surreal when you're doing DJing at home, because you're not actually looking at anything other than a little camera at the other side. People take what they're getting from you performing to them, and you're getting the buzz off it from the feedback from that. So that's part of DJing, isn't it? You want that feedback. You're doing it because you love the music, and you want to give that happiness to somebody else. And you know, we've watched a lot of live streams this last few weeks, and they've been fantastic, and just nice to have them on. We've turned the lights off in the room, had the DJ on, and we just had a dance, and that's all you can do at the moment, isn't it? It's not being able to get out, having a dance in the room, and we've had a few sessions, you know.
Like you do. Hey, have you done what we do? We get them on big telly. Got Frater on big telly.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, the big telly, always on the big screen, linked up to the boombox, and just try and make it as clubby as you can. I'm fortunate. I've got a couple of disco lights as well. That we use for some of the events, and we've had them going.
Brilliant.
Oh, sad.
Brilliant. Mate, we've just had to do it, and you know, it's just keeping everything rocking, isn't it, really? I mean, I know a lot of events have been like I don't know about yourself, like rescheduled to the next year. People are almost writing this year off. Like we say, we're fingers crossed that some events might come back this year, but nobody really knows, do they? It's just nobody knows.
We don't know. They're playing it as safe as they can and releasing it bit by bit, but the biggest jump at the moment has been the pubs opening. I mean, I didn't see that coming at all. We've tried to second guess what the government's going to do next, and the pubs was not on the list at all. I thought, you know, the schools would try and make more effort to get the kids in before it was anything to do with drinking and that culture coming together, but that's their decision. So fingers crossed.
Well, like I say, you know, we're fingers crossed. If you can sit in a pub and distance, then maybe we can get in a venue and distance. I mean, like you said, the plus side for the next Rejuv, if it goes ahead, is the fact that it is outdoors. So, I don't know, would you put all little boxes? Don't come into my box.
It's not. Have you seen the videos where they've actually in Germany and things like that, where they've boxed off the 2 meters square for someone, which is a farce in itself, because as soon as two people come right next to each other in the tape, it's not even 2 meters. So it's just raving and clubbing and music and the club culture is about coming together. It's about throwing your arms around someone and shoulder to shoulder and bouncing around with your fingers in the air going, "Achoo, come on," you know, that's what it's about. And
getting your mate in a headlock and going, "I love you."
Yeah, and it's all that, isn't it? So for me personally, there's no point putting on a Rejuv, not the 5-room to the scale that we do, unless we can have that human interaction, and that's what it's about. We may get away with it outside, even if we have to wear a mask or something. That could be a possibility. There's more people being allowed to come together. But saying that, the all day we get quite a good number of people, so it all depends. I can't second guess it. I mean, we'll see what Boris says.
Exactly. I think it's going to get to the stage, you know, where it's like, listen, you're on your own now, guys. You're flying. Just use your common sense. That's all you can do, you know. So yeah, like you say, if we had a stack of Rejuv masks, a la alternate, I am Mark Archer. Okay. That'd work, wouldn't it? Just get the old Vicks in there like the old days, and jobs are good. Could be the cure.
It's funny actually, because of the design work not being as busy as usual.
Yeah.
I've actually been doing the printing for Mark's alternate masks.
Oh, I've seen them. Yeah. I mean,
you know, the face masks, and they've been doing really well for him, and he's getting loads of pictures of all these stars and stuff wearing them, and I mean, they were doing it back in the 90s, and they knew it were coming.
It's crazy, isn't it? He did do, correct me if I'm wrong, but he did do a quote, didn't he? Or one of them said, "In the future, everybody will wear a mask," and like, bloody hell, he was right. I mean, he was probably the only guy who was sorted before us lot. So, so if you don't know, so I've put the track that me and Si have done. He's going on the album. He'd had to go on. It's a given. Like, tell us a story about the track. So, well, I'll start the story. So yeah, I suggested to Si that we should do a track together. Bloody hell, it's about a year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, quite a while ago. You said, "Would you like to come in the studio?" And it was like a dream come true, because I'm not au fait with the software and the making of music. So it was just a really good opportunity to see what you guys do and how you make a track and stuff. So it was,
yeah. And then you said, well, I've got this. Did you bring it on? You had a stick or something, didn't you? And some guy had sung the Rejuv.
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah.
What had happened was a few years ago we did the Rejuv Summer of Love.
Yeah.
And it was, when was it? 2014, I think it was. And a friend of a friend said, "Oh, I'll do you a little like jingle and stuff for it." And he was a bit of a singer and whatnot, and he sang this jingle to go on a video. And I always had it as a soundbite, and I always thought there was elements within this jingle that we could take out and maybe use. You know, the word, obviously singing the word rejuvenation and about coming together, and it just seemed there was something there. If we could find the right person to give it to, and we might be able to make a tune out of it. And lo and behold, I got an invite to come to Blandy Studios, and the next thing I know, we're using this sample, and absolute magic was created.
Mate, I remember making it, and we were both sat there when the big piano drops and that, and I'm just like, yeah, wow. I mean, it's like things like that come together once in a while, where it's just a time and a place. Like you say, you had the vocal knocking about, I contacted you, do you want to do? Because I had a phase, like, I thought, you know what, a couple of years ago, and I thought, you know, in my downtime, this is before I even thought of doing the Dream Frequency album. I didn't even think about anything, you know, Dream Frequency related, but I just thought, I want to do a few tunes with people in the scene, people I like Green Bins and all that, just for no thing whatsoever, just come over, chits and giggles, and let's just do a tune. And then, yeah, we ended up doing Rejuv, and then we got remixes done of it, and then to play it out as well, and for you to play it out, it's some moment, really, isn't it?
It is. I'll never forget how it, first of all, being invited to come and see you and see what you do.
Pleasure, mate.
It was a massive thing for me. There's been a few opportunities that have come off the back of doing Rejuv, and I'll be eternally grateful, because it's what I love, and I love the scene, like I've said before. I keep going over, but the opportunity to come and sit down with you and just see how you work and say hello and have a laugh with you, and it was just the most perfect day. And I remember we sat down and we were doing the piano riff for the Rejuv tune, and you was playing it, and then we was tweaking it, weren't we? And when you played it with the beat, and I mean, I get goosebumps now. It's just like, whoa! Even on that day, it was just a massive, massive moment. And I remember we got it sort of like to a stage where it was finished but not finished, and it was like version 1, and you put it on a CD. And I mean, it took me about an hour and a half to get back from your gaff back to Leeds. Yeah. And it was on loop all the way back. And it was amazing. Yeah, I'd loved it. And a few more tweaks, and we ended up with the tune that you've got there.
Well, listen, mate, you know, like, plans are, you know, like, once I get this album out, I'm going to start releasing some singles on. So definitely we'll have to do a remix of Summit, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. I'm up for it. I have a few ideas. I just wish I had the technical knowledge to be able to do it, but I have got some ideas that keep bouncing around in my head. And
yeah, but you know what?
Being friends with Rob as well, he helps me out a little bit, and we've managed to put a couple of other bits together with it. Rob.
He plays with the stuff. I mean, honestly, don't ever think of, you know, like, because I always say to people who come to my studio, like, say, oh, well, I don't really know how to work the gear, but you can't see, but I'm looking at a disc of I Love You Baby, and like Nick, who used to be the other half of Divas, mate, he never played one note right, but his ideas were genius. Three's Family and things like that, he had all them ideas, right? We want a gospel clap, we want this, this, and this. So ideas are as important as just being able to play. Do you know what I mean? It's everything. So yeah, it's all good. But I remember when we were doing this, I kind of let you take the lead, and you were there, man. You just like, right, we want this CLS stab, we want the da-da-da. And yeah, we rocked on. So, but yeah,
I mean, I love the cheesy rave stuff. I love the piano stuff. I love the breaks, and you know that you know, and the frequency stuff, and it's proper rave, and I couldn't have thought of anyone better to do it with, and I'm so proud of the final result. And I remember you coming to play at Rejuv in the main room, and we had the disc, didn't we? And it was like Kevin and Perry moment. And he says, right, I'm going to drop it now. So I got my little phone out and we were recording the crowd. And you played it the first time, and people they responded to it and they could hear what it was saying and stuff, but it wasn't like, I expected it to be a bigger firework than it was. And they responded in the dance and that, and then you dropped it, or did I drop it later on in the night? Because they heard it then, the pianos were coming and it just went up, and it was a moment again.
Amazing, mate. And honestly, I've got to thank you as well, because you took Debbie over to play at Rejuv. I know you said like you've always wanted to book the original Dream Frequency, and like Debbie's, she's in the States at the moment, and she come out once in a blue moon. But honestly, that night was amazing. To get Debbie up on stage as well, at one of the best nights. It was an ace night for us, that, mate. Honestly.
Yeah, it was a special moment. Was it 2017? Wasn't it November 2017? So
it's a while ago, yeah.
3 years ago now. But yeah, we're so privileged and fortunate with Rejuv that we can, because there's a good following behind it, and it's given us the opportunity financially to be able to try and make it the best that we can. And, for me to ask yourself to come and play at Rejuv as Dream Frequency, Debbie had to be there. It just had to be the original lineup. That's what we're trying to do. We're always trying to keep it as original as we can.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie was part of the equation always, and for her to come over from America, and hello, Debbie, love you.
Thank you. Yeah, she's amazing. Honestly, I do miss Debs. And I'm not just saying it, but obviously, we got a fee for doing it, but I'd say most of it from our point of view, we just paid for Debbie. We just wanted Debbie to be there for that night. She had to be there. I was totally in agreement, mate. And she is amazing. She's amazing. So, I mean, I've used Take Me and Feel Surreal, a remix on this album, and we've remixed the tracks and whatnot. I've got other singers on now as well, because Debbie's kind of semi-retired. Well, she more or less is looking after her mom and all that jazz. So, but yeah, what a legend, Debbie. It was a top night, that, man. Absolutely top night.
It was amazing. It's right up there with the best of them. Everyone that we do, we're sort of we'll never beat that. But we've had 8 years of it, and everyone's got a special moment and a special place. So.
I'm gonna say every Rejuv, it's been like a unique occasion. I mean, you've had Alternate, you've had everybody on, Rob, just everybody, and it's its own sort of. And I tell you what I do like as well, and I'm so crap at joining in with shit like this, but the fancy dress, the theme, that's bonkers. That is just proper rave bonkers. I love it.
Right, so the fancy dress, we never pushed from Rejuv. It was always the guys that were coming to come and party, and they started their own polls up, and they wanted a theme to each night, which, it's amazing. They want to interact and get involved in that way, and put their own mark on the nights. And when we first started doing Rejuv, I mean, it was such a learning curve, but we got such a ribbing for doing fancy dress, and we took it from all sides, other events. Yeah, massively. Yeah, and we it wasn't really us doing it, but we just loved how people rolled. And once you got in Rejuv, nobody cares less. And if you're not dressed up, you look a little bit further out than the people that have made the effort, to get in theme.
That's me. Yeah, this is my fancy dress. I'm putting a lockdown hat on. That's about it. But bloody hell, everybody was properly in character. I didn't go to that one. I don't know if I was doing a gig, but the Star Wars one looked pretty decent.
Yeah, So that was in memory of a good friend who used to come to Rejuv, who passed away.
Yeah,
bless him. And it was called Skywalker, and someone suggested that we should do Star Wars theme in memory of him. And we themed it all up as Star Wars, and we had stormtroopers there, and everyone made a massive effort. And that to me was the best fancy dress
Yeah.
for anyone that we've done. And like again, people just love it. They made the effort. It was in memory, and yeah, another special night.
Amazing, mate. Well, like I say, you know, you just going back to what you said about loving the rave sounds, and like you say, it's cheesy. Honestly, doing this album, right? So I've actually looked back because I've been sort of remastering some of the stuff to bring out. And I've realised I started it end of last September is when I actually started writing the tracks. And I spoke to Rob, and I knew Rob had been working with yourself as well. And he played me some stuff that you'd done, and he played some stuff what Liquid had done, and a few other albums, stuff what Bunter was doing and stuff like that. Yeah. He said it's got to be rave on steroids. But honestly, just going back to what you said, I fell in love with the rave again, mate. It's like I just sat, it's like I've sold this story on the Kickstarter video. It's like, I was sat there, thinking, I'm doing all this kind of new stuff, tech house, whatever. And the guy just turned around and he was sat and he just went, Blandy, you'll be doing Dream Frequency till you pop your clogs. Why don't you just put your efforts into Dream Frequency? And then I realised it was 30 years. And honestly, mate, it's amazing because when we did Rejuv, that was like a moment in time. But then I had nothing else after that or around it to sort of cement that. And now I feel like I'm taking that track and putting it in my little jigsaw now. For me, our track, just putting it in there and gone, oh, brilliant. That's a nice home for it now. You know what I mean? So, mate, I've rediscovered being Dream Frequency again, which sounds bizarre because, yeah, I've still played all over these years, but I've never been able to make them tunes. And I think I might have, I sent you, forwarded you the album anyway, like most of it. Yeah. So you have actually heard a lot of it,
Yeah.
And yeah, mate, honestly,
I've been fortunate to get a preview before.
I know, and honestly, I know how it goes. Listen, even if I sent you my album, it's like you've got a life, I've got a life. It is actually hard to sit down and listen to other people's tunes because there's always something happening, isn't there? But I was a bit like, I wonder what he thinks. I hope he likes it. You know what I mean? It's just difficult.
It's all in my iTunes, and it keeps popping up with the tracks, and I've got the Rejuv one in there as well. And
brilliant.
I like the diversity of it as well. There's a little bit of everything, a drum and bass track, and it's there's some different sounds in there, which is phenomenal, yeah. And I think for you personally, you've got to move with the times and keep it fresh and keep your mind fresh as well. And you're putting some really nice work out there. But it's nice to hear the Dream Frequency, the old sounds back.
Okay, well, honestly, thanks, mate. And like I say, I'm sure we're going to do some stuff together, and a lot of the other guys. But it's just been so much fun, mate. Honestly, just to and I'm not going to swear. I'm trying not to swear, but just to give a track where make a track where you're not giving a damn. You're just doing it for the rave, just going, whoa, check that piano drop, check that. Where you're just getting them goosebumps like you used to do.
That's it. And if it excites you, then it should excite the right people that are around you that love what you've done for the 30 years that you've been doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's same with yourself, Si. If you're doing a set, if you're not buzzing doing your set, if the tunes you're not playing aren't exciting you, then how is anybody else going to get excited? So
exactly, yeah. I'm quite selfish like that. I do play for me and Sue's, to be honest. And hopefully people like it. And I think they do, and you get bookings off the back of that. And
of course they do, mate. But you've got a good barometer. You and Susie, you're proper ravers. Do you know what I mean? So if there's not a better barometer than that.
Yeah, aging ravers now.
Yeah, but do you not think that's the weird thing? I mean, my lads are in the 20s now, even though I'm still 36, obviously, but they're in the 20s, and it's like, but I know they're still into house music. But even, I was doing a track with somebody today, and, he was hitting me with records that Annie Mac's playing. And honestly, Si, they're just straight up rave records, big pianos, bit of a more modern twist on it. But, and my lads are there, and you're thinking, we'd have never been into our parents' music. It's just mental that this scene from rave all the way to where it is now is still going on and existing at the same time.
It's interesting you say that, because I do hear some of the modern stuff, the newer stuff, the dance stuff, and they are taking a lot of the samples from the originals. We say the original stuff that we had in the 90s, but a lot of that was sampled anyway. So it's like a regurgitation every decade or every 20, 30 years, isn't it? And that sound's coming with a slight twist to it. But what we're finding at Rejuv is we're getting a lot of younger people coming, and they're really enjoying it. They're enjoying the vibe, because that's what we're trying to do, is take it back to how it was in the 90s. So they've not really experienced that in Clubland, because it's a little bit more cool now, and nobody really hugs and gets messy anymore like what we used to. Well, I say don't get messy, but like that kind of 90s stuff. But we're getting the kids coming to Rejuv, and they're hearing the music and they're getting it and they're understanding it. And I wonder if it's because a lot of the samples are used, I don't know, maybe the samples are used in it, but it'll never die. It was just an amazing era, wasn't it?
You know what, Si, right? It's funny you should say that, because, when I've been Rejuv, I was playing a gig in Blackpool last year for Jason Fubar, his nights, and I looked in the front row. I think you might have been on that night. I don't know if you were on before me or you were about. Anyway, but the front row was just 18, 19-year-olds. And we were absolutely loving it. And I've been to a lot of events recently, and exactly what you said. And I think, kids aren't stupid. I know we give all young'uns a lot of stick, and we probably got a lot of stick off our parents and older generation. But I think they're looking back now, and they're looking at some of these nights and going, well, where did this music come from? And then they're, like you said, they're hearing the stabs and everything. And then they're looking at the raves. And so many people, even who I work for from a studio, were younger than me and gone, oh, I wish I was born when you guys were raving. You know what I mean? And we're so lucky, mate, aren't we? Blimey. We are so lucky to have lived through that, mate. Wow. We're still here, luckily, still on pitch playing.
Well, one of the things I love is when we get someone that we know, a friend or someone who's in the scene who was doing it back in the 90s, and they bring their 18-year-old into the club, and they're like, we brought them here to Rejuv to experience what it was like for us in the 90s. They're loving it. The kids are loving it. Everyone's happy. Everyone's safe, and everyone's having a great time. And that's what it's about, isn't it? At the end of the day, coming together and having a proper party.
Mate, I'll tell you what. It's been amazing to chat. Let's leave it on that fantastic sentiment. And we're going to finish this interview. Thanks, Si, so much for letting us chat about it. This is Rejuvenation. It's on the Dream Frequency album. Check out the Kickstarter. Why we're doing the Kickstarter is purely to get it on CD and vinyl, to fund that.
Can I just say, how sexy does that vinyl look in them colours?
Well, we chose them colours, right, to go with your artwork. When we were picking
wow, I'm having that vinyl pack, let me tell you.
Oh, listen, I'm praying we reach the target, honestly, right? Because, like Charlotte said, the missus, she says, I want one. I just want to see it out on vinyl. And listen, if we don't make it, we had a good go. But I'm hoping that we get it together in the days, and we reach it. We can do it.
Positive mental attitude. It will make it. Come on, people, get
I know. I need to be on that.
All the scene. Support Blandy, it's 30 years. Look at him. 30 years, he still looks 20.
Smoking mirrors, mate. Smoking mirrors, trust me. Blimey. Right, Si, you're an absolute star, mate. Legend. Right, guys, this is Rejuvenation. Check it out. Will City.
Peace out.
Rejuvenation makes you feel that, Rejuvenates, come together as one, under the moon, in the stars.